It's the Van Show, and today we're talking to my friend, Carrie Clickard. Say hi, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hey-o.
Hey.
You know, I always get surprised when someone doesn't make that joke.
It's a little old, but it's still worth a giggle.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, we want to know a little bit about you.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do, we're going to start off the show with something new. In 1 minute, I want you to tell us as much about you as you can. Do you think you could do that?
I think I can do that. Hi, my name is Carrie Clickard. I am an author. I write nonfiction and fiction books for kids anywhere from the age of 3 up to about 12. I was born in Michigan, and I loved Michigan in the snow, but now I've moved to Florida, where I live in Ormond Beach, and I get to see dolphins and whales and all kinds of cool stuff, and no more snow. I love to scuba dive. I like to travel. I've been to about 15 countries, and I hope to get to even more.
Wow.
I like Chinese food, and I like chocolate, and I like the Van Show because I watched all your videos before I got here.
Wow!
And what else can I tell you about myself? I like to rhyme. I write a lot of my books in rhyme. And that means I like music that rhymes too, but I also like poetry that doesn't rhyme. So I like a little bit of everything.
Now, so you're an author.
I am.
Were you always an author?
Well, yes, I've been writing since I was a little girl. I wrote poetries and stories, but no, I've done a lot of other things. Before I sold my first book, I taught color guards and marching bands.
Ooh.
You know, when you go past a dealership or a store and you see those great big hot air balloons on top of them, I was the one who arranged those for a while.
Oh.
We had, as a sales manager, and then I got into printing, and then finally, I became an author.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get here, but it was worth the trip.
Now, while you were wrangling hot air balloons for car dealerships, were you writing on the side, like at home?
I was indeed. I was always writing poems or short stories. I sold a few to magazines, and I was always trying to find a way to write for children. That's what I always wanted to do. Ever since I went to the library as a little girl and read my first Beatrix Potter book, that's what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Very
Now,
cool.
can you tell us a little bit about the book you brought today?
I sure can. This is called Thomas Jefferson and the Mammoth Hunt. Now, what's interesting is I found out through a website that was doing trivia questions that there was a president that had 2 dinosaurs named after him.
Ooh.
And it was Thomas Jefferson. He has a giant ground sloth that's named after him called the Megalonyx jeffersoni, and a mammoth called the Mammuthus jeffersoni. This surprised me. I didn't know there was a president with dinosaurs named after him.
No, me neither.
So I started to do some research, and I found out that this was a passion of Thomas Jefferson. He wanted to prove that America had big, strong, healthy animals. There was a scientific theory in Europe that said that America was a cold, swampy, horrible place to live, and that everything that grew there would be weak and yucky. And Thomas said, that's not true. I think it's a good, healthy place. Let's find the biggest animals that we can find and send them to France and prove them wrong. So he asked people to go out and find them. Find buffalo, find moose, they tried once, find anything big. And suddenly someone came to him and said, look at this big bone. We need to find this animal. And it was a mammoth bone.
Whoa.
So he spent the next 5 or 10 years looking for a whole mammoth skeleton to prove his point. And that's what the book's about.
Now, was he governing at the same time?
Yes, he was. He was governor, he was vice president, he was president, he was ambassador to France, all this time.
And the whole time he was supposed to be doing lots of political stuff, he was out looking for mammoth bones?
Yes, he was. What's really interesting is he wrote a letter once and said that he enjoyed doing what he was doing for his country, but if he had had his way, he would have stayed on his plantation and he would have been a scientist.
I'd like to know a little bit, and unless it's too scary, and then maybe we don't talk about it, about the ankle biter.
My ankle biter? Are you talking about the ankle biter I've written about in poems?
Yeah, the one under your bed.
Yes. When I was a little girl, I was scared of the ankle biter under my bed. And I've actually written a poem about a house, and all the monsters are alphabetic, and A is for ankle biter that lives under your bed. And so, I was the little girl that kept all my hands and feet inside the covers so that nobody could get them. And you know what?
What?
I still do.
You do?
I do.
Do you think the ankle biter is just waiting under there?
Maybe.
He's like, she's going to slip up one day.
Well, I don't know. It's the day I don't look. It's the day he might be there.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.